What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into the Jets report as we got some breaking news for you guys. The New York Jets just signed 3 new players off the waiver wire, and I'm a big fan of all 3 of these moves. But quickly here, more news around the New York Jets. Jarek Bernard Converse was actually claimed off waivers by the Cleveland Browns, so he won't be returning to the Jets practice squad. I was a little shocked he didn't end up making the 53-man roster, and clearly the Cleveland Browns had some interest in him, so they ended up claiming him. But some more practice squad candidates for the New York Jets. Now, we're already getting word that Dean Clark and Brady Cook will return to the New York Jets. I'm also assuming Donovan Edwards, Brandon Smith, Quentin Skinner, and Jamaal Pritchett will all return. All of those guys were not picked up off the waiver wire, so I could see the Jets having some interest in bringing those guys back. And also, same with UDFA defensive tackle Payton Page. But I expect all those guys to be brought back to the practice squad. Already got confirmation that Brady Cook and Dean Clark will return. Now, before we show you guys the 3 players the Jets just picked up, if you guys could help us reach our next milestone here on the channel, 8.6 thousand subscribers. We're just 92 subs away. So if you guys have not already, want to stay up to date on everything around your New York Jets, we will be your go-to Jets YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button today. Roster moves, injury news, previews for every single week, instant reactions, sometimes going live for the games. We do it all here at Chat Sports. So hit that subscribe button today if you're a diehard Jets fan. All right, let's talk about the biggest move that the Jets made. Jelani Woods, tight end of the Indianapolis Colts, 6'7" tight end. Fun fact, he'll actually be the tallest player on the Jets roster. But this guy is a freak of nature. When he was coming out of Virginia back in 2022, he posted a perfect RAS score of 10 flat, 6'7", 253 pounds, runs a 4.6 40, has a vertical jump of 37.5 inches, and Aaron Glenn was already talking about it today, and he says he's going to bring great value not only in the pass-catching game, but in the run-blocking game as well. And Rosenblatt writing something up here on Jelani Woods, saying he was a third-round pick of the Colts back in 2022. He had 25 catches for 312 yards and 3 touchdowns as a rookie. Hasn't played in a game since due to injuries. He was dealing with a hamstring injury and some turf toe, but he's a very, very impressive athlete, and he was considered a decent blocker coming out of college, which is huge because, the Jets still have a question mark at that wide receiver 2 spot. Who's going to step up? Who's going to be the guy getting all those reps? I would anticipate the Jets, now with this Jelani Woods pickup, watch out for a lot of 2 tight end sets because I actually like that room with Mason Taylor, Stone Smart, and now Woods. I can see the Jets run a lot of 2 tight end sets, at least at the beginning of the season. But his injury history, pretty rough. Got a feel for Jelani here, but he dealt with foot injuries throughout his whole college career, and he missed the entire 2023 season dealing with thigh hamstring strains. It was just on and off throughout the whole season. He wasn't able to play a single game there, and he did miss the entire 2024 season with a turf toe injury. So, those are pretty serious injuries, dealing with the thigh hamstring strain and the toe turf. But I still think if he's going to be out there and he's healthy, it's still a great pickup for the New York Jets. And this guy was still very productive when he was in the NFL. Like his rookie year, put up some solid numbers, over 300 yards, found the end zone a couple of times. And, I think this is just a move for the Jets where they're looking at a guy like Jeremy Ruckert, and they're saying, is that good enough at our tight end 3 spot? Clearly they thought not. And I think the corresponding move for Woods making the 53-man roster, because also keep in mind, when the Jets do sign these players, they have to make the 53-man roster. They can't just sign him to the practice squad, so he will be on the roster. So that means somebody's got to get cut, and I'm assuming it will be Jeremy Ruckert being the corresponding move. He'll probably get cut. I was a little shocked he ended up making the team, but maybe the Jets just kept him on the team just in case they couldn't get Jelani Woods. Somebody ahead of him in the waiver wire could have claimed him. So now I'm assuming Jeremy Ruckert will go to the practice squad. And now you're looking at this tight end room. We thought it was going to be, obviously a huge question mark heading into the season. And, you don't have that true superstar at the spot, but, who knows if Mason Taylor develops into that. I like the depth. Actually, I love the depth behind him. Like, you got 2 veteran-ish players in Jelani Woods and Stone Smart. They can both be great in the run-blocking game. They can obviously catch screens. We saw Stone Smart have a couple of nice run-after catches in the preseason when he got a couple of screens there. But I'm looking at this room. I'm expecting a lot of production out of these 3 guys. I will anticipate the Jets week 1 against the Steelers. All 3 of these guys will get decent playing time. Now you also have another big body tight end like Mason Taylor, 6'5", Jelani Woods, 6'7". Stone Smart, a physical player as well. So this is my favorite pickup that we'll talk about today. And then let's welcome Jelani Woods to the New York Jets. Type those JWs, type his initials down below in the comment section. This was a great pickup for New York. Needed some more help at the tight end position. Clearly they didn't trust Jeremy Ruckert, who's having a rough training camp, having a rough preseason. And they went out there and got Jelani Woods. So if you guys want to welcome him to the New York Jets, give me those JWs down below. Now we'll talk about the two other players that the Jets picked up, actually both from the Kansas City Chiefs here in a second, but today's episode of the Jets Report is brought to you by PrizePicks. And the football season is almost here, and college football is here. So don't miss any of the action this season on PrizePicks. And if you guys download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS. We'll hook you guys up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. On PrizePicks, it's simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. PrizePicks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. PrizePicks puts their members first. So all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. PrizePicks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. And for week 1 of the football season, Cowboys taking on the Eagles. They got a max discount play for you guys where one Dak Prescott passing yard during that Thursday night game will get you guys one free win on PrizePicks. So make sure you guys include that in all of your lineups leading up to that event. I already have it in a couple, so make sure you guys take advantage and add that max discount play. So download the PrizePicks app today. Plug in promo code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. But massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's edition of the Jets Report. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, let's talk about the two other players that the Jets claimed off waivers. Again, these guys have to make the 53-man roster. That's how it works. And also the order works where if, like, hypothetically the Titans were number 1 on the waiver wire, if they wanted to go out there and sign 15 players, they could have. But, again, they all have to make the team. So that's why you always see a decent amount of waiver claims in there, but not as much as you would think. Because if you could just claim these guys to your practice squad, I mean, teams like the Titans would be claiming probably 20 guys earlier on today. But the second guy the Jets picked up, linebacker, Cam Jones. Now, his calling card, he is great in terms of defending the run. Does struggle a little bit in coverage, and that was kind of the scouting report coming out. And, his PFF grades, kind of showed it this preseason. Now, this was only in 67 snaps, so a very limited sample size, but overall PFF grade had him at 61.2, but run defense, one of the highest in the National Football League at 90.9, and his tackling grade at 62.3. But again, struggles in coverage, PFF grade only 36.3 there. So who could potentially get cut? We're going to guess here that it's going to be Zaire Barnes. He's the last guy listed on the depth chart. They're obviously going to keep Kiko there, spend a premium draft pick on him. They like what they've seen from McCrary Ball, so we think they're going to keep all those guys and then just have him take the spot of Zaire Barnes there. But you still got Quincy Williams, still got Jamie and Sherwood. I'm assuming this move for the Jets is just obviously a depth move. And, if Sherwood or Quincy Williams has to miss a game, they'll just kind of rotate. They'll go Kiko in there. They'll go McCrary Ball. They'll obviously throw Cam Jones in there. But I like this move as well. Like, you needed more talent at the linebacker position, especially in terms of just depth. So I think this is a solid move for the New York Jets. But also another solid move here, Esa Pole, offensive tackle from the Kansas City Chiefs as well. And this guy played his collegiate football back at Washington State. And actually an unreal stat for this guy. Out of all of the eligible tackles in the 2024 NFL Draft, Esa Pole had the highest pass blocking grade at 85.8. That was the highest, even higher than Membu, even higher than Will Campbell, all of these guys. He had the highest one, and he was a UDFA. And in the preseason, it translated. So I like this pickup. Like, preseason, his PFF grade, 84.1 in 68 snaps. Has an overall PFF grade at 70.1, run block at 52.4. So, again, I'm assuming this move, just adding in another swing tackle. You can maybe try to bump him inside. Again, big body, 6'7" as well. So, he could maybe play some guard for you if the Jets feel like they could, translate his game to that position. But this just gives you another swing tackle. Like, let's just say Fashanu or Membu has to go down for a couple of games. It gives you options with Mitchell or Okorafor and now Pole being in the rotation. But let me ask you guys this to close out today's show. The Jets roster as a whole Is it starting to get finalized? How are you feeling about it? Are you feeling confident? Are there some position groups that are, giving you some concerns? You guys let me know your thoughts down below. And also hit that subscribe button on your way out. See you guys next time. Go Jets.